And now for the last of our series on Nepal. We head to the hills to learn a bit about trekking, and on a hilltop settlement we meet with a party of Kiwi aid workers helping build a village in under a week. We start in the tourist town of Pokhara. Nepal's image abroad has long been the magnificence and grandeur of its mountains. The country, after all, claims 8 of the world's 10 tallest peaks. Most of the countryside remains inaccessible by road, villages tucked away behind infinite ridges which conceal deep valleys. Valleys crossed with century-old trails trodden by traders, pilgrims and locals. It was Sir Edmund Hillary who really spread the word about Nepal.
What is the point of climbing a Himalayan mountain? Just to get to the top? It's not quite as simple as that. It's all basically exploration, not only of the country, but also of man's capacities and capabilities.
In 1953, on the eve of a coronation of an English queen, news crackled through the radio of Edmund Hillary and Sherpa Tenzing Norgay's triumphant Everest ascent. The word spread around the world, and the world came to know of the hardy mountaineers, the Kingdom of Nepal, and her incredibly resilient mountain people, the Sherpas.
Well, this liking for the Sherpa is certainly the most important factor with me, Peter. And it's the reason why I've spent a lot of time over the last few years building schools in the area and doing other aid projects.
I was lucky to meet with one such Sherpa, Lakpa Sherpa, and his New Zealand wife, Helen. Lakpa was not only a relative of Tenzing Norgay, but was also one of the first students of the school Sir Ed set up in the Everest region in the 60s. Like many of his generation, he's seen immense change, and a lot of it thanks to the schools that Sir Ed helped build.
Before the school, we did not have any other formal schools, but we did have the monasteries for those people who choose to go to the monasteries to learn Tibetan scripts and Buddhism and so. I don't know whether Ed Hillary ever had this idea of building a school all over the place. At that point, he was building one school, and then there was more requests from different schools to build more schools. So the next school was built in my village in Thani in 1963. So that's when my life began to change.
Lakpa kept up the relationship with New Zealand ever since. He studied National Park Management at Lincoln University in the South Island. And he's keen to continue the community spirit of Sir Ed. Armed with a PhD and a Yale University scholarship, he hopes to work toward a more sustainable future for tourism.
You know, back in 1970s, tourism wasn't a big thing in the Everest region, at least on the Nepal side. There were a lot of mountaineering expeditions, but the tourist numbers were still low because of the access problem. There was no transportation, and the plane flights was very seasonal. So gradually, we begin to improve that transportation system. The Lukla Airport was built by Sir Edmund Hillary, initially to bring in supplies for his development project, the hospital and the schools that he was building. And gradually that kind of became the main gateway. So now we have a problem of almost overcrowding. A problem was the garbage that is being talked about a lot all around the world. But the garbage situation, I think we found a solution. We got the local people involved in cleaning up. We have a mechanism where we can get money for cleaning up the garbage. So it is kind of working, but it is a constant battle. You have to keep on top of it all the time.
The fabulous beauty of the Everest region's foothills was the trigger for the beginnings of Nepal's trekking industry. By 1964, most of the Himalayan giants had been climbed. 1 year later, the path was set for something new. An officer from the British Residency, Colonel Jimmy Roberts, took a party of ladies for a trek. He founded mountain travel, and the trekking industry was born. Trekking Nepal's trails and spending the nights in simple mountain lodges has come to be the #1 reason for visiting the country. They can be short and easy, or long and very challenging. The 21-day Annapurna circuit is considered Nepal's best and one of the world's classic walks. So it was on a section of the Annapurna I met up once again with my mountain guide Anita. As a profession for Nepali women, guiding is only slowly being accepted.
My family, they want me to get married with a good boy, with a nice looking, good salary, and studying well, and not too working. But nowadays they are being very satisfied with my job, and they're happy very much.
Anita's from a little village tucked away in the Annapurnas. 3,000 steps up and a day's hike from anywhere. So taking up trek guiding almost came naturally.
I like to see the mountains and the jungle, and we can see many kinds of the bird, and sometimes we can see the animals too.
You never wanted to be a guide, did you? You studied sociology and you did other things, and you grew up in the mountains.
Yeah, because I'm from mountain and there's a lot of tourists. They were coming there, and I was just looking to the Nepali guide and the tourists, and I was just thinking, I want to be the same as they want, and I just want to walk in the mountain and to the city, and I just want to be traveling.
It's not just trekkers on the trails, but locals traveling from village to village, or traders transporting their goods on foot. Here you can really immerse yourself in the true spirit of Nepal. While I may not be an Everest nut, I think it's pretty incredible just to be surrounded by these mountains and the people that live amongst them. I think the beauty of Nepal is the fact that you don't have to be a Gore-Tex traveler to have friends in high places.